We begin this necessary and high-stakes discussion by acknowledging the gravity of the knowledge you are about to receive, dedicated to every serious subscriber committed to mastering his own emotional world and communication. It is critical to grasp immediately that attraction is not a negotiation you win with rational arguments or displays of material wealth. It is a primal, biological impulse you trigger with carefully constructed emotional contrast. Over the course of the next 60 minutes, we will systematically dissect the precise communication framework required to fundamentally shift a woman's perception of you from merely acceptable or nice to irresistibly desired. This study is not about employing superficial tricks or coercive manipulation. It is about calibrating your verbal and nonverbal energy to perfectly align with the deepest, most sophisticated psychological drives of the feminine mind. Desire is sustained by the law of emotional polarity, which dictates that when a man operates entirely from a predictable, agreeable, and approval-seeking posture, a collapsed masculine core, the polarity necessary for desire instantly dies, leaving behind emotional safety, but absolute dullness. The 5 forbidden phrases we will analyze are, therefore, highly sophisticated polarity tools, signaling to her subconscious that you embody a strong, self-controlled masculine core, decisive, emotionally sovereign, and possessing an unshakable inner reality. She seeks the duality of safety and risk, the man who provides both an unshakable emotional presence and a subtle, intriguing emotional challenge. Most men can only offer one, making them forgettable. By mastering these phrases, you offer both within the same interaction, bypassing her rational defenses, her routine, her commitment to stability, her inner critic, and speaking directly to the part of her that feels fully alive only when it senses the unknown possibilities of the man before her. Our ultimate purpose is not to gain her momentary persuasion, but to provoke a profound, sustained emotional response, conveying through every word the unstated message. I am confident in my reality, and your presence is appreciated, but I am not defined by your validation or necessity. This profound non-neediness is the bedrock of the high-value frame, the essential prerequisite for these 5 phrases to function as emotional accelerants. The first forbidden phrase is a powerful act of emotional reframing, designed to completely dismantle the competitive, evaluation-based dynamic that plagues most initial interactions, where the man attempts to prove his value and the woman attempts to evaluate him. The full phrase is, I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I just want to understand the architecture of your thinking. The opening clause, I'm not trying to convince you of anything, is a silent declaration of emotional sovereignty, immediately communicating that your self-valuation is fixed and immutable, independent of any validation she might offer. You are not a product seeking a buyer. You are a force observing a phenomenon. This single statement instantly lowers her psychological defensive shields, which are perpetually raised against men attempting to sell themselves. This is followed by the core psychological trigger. I just want to understand the architecture of your thinking. This phrase elevates the interaction from trivial, scripted banter to intellectual intimacy by utilizing the term architecture, signaling a profound respect for the complex structural nature of her internal world. You are communicating that you see her not as a passive object of desire, but as a fascinating psychological structure worthy of focused, non-judgmental study. This rare form of focused, high-value listening activates the critical psychological mechanism of validation and safety. Attraction deepens when a woman feels truly seen and validated in her unique thought process, a state that is almost never achieved by men who are too preoccupied with formulating their next clever line or proving their worth. The slow, weighted, and genuinely curious delivery of this phrase implies that you possess the inner calm and intelligence necessary to navigate her complexity, thereby establishing a deep pillar of grounded, attractive masculine stability. You are not demanding intimacy. You are offering respect, which paradoxically earns her emotional focus. Most men waste their compliments by praising superficial qualities like appearance or basic effort, making the acknowledgement feel cheap and transactional. The second forbidden phrase operates differently, combining a rare form of praise with a subtle, potent emotional challenge to create immediate curiosity. The phrase is, "That's fascinating. I hadn't filed you under predictable yet, but this confirms it. The opening acknowledgement, that's fascinating, confirms your active intellectual engagement, but the forbidden power resides in the central segment. I hadn't filed you under predictable yet. This statement serves as a declaration of your high-value filter. You are subtly revealing that you categorize people, and that predictable is a low-value category that you have, until this moment, assumed she might occupy. By placing her outside that negative designation, you are communicating that she has passed an unspoken, unexpected test of uniqueness and complexity. The final closing line, "but this confirms it," delivers the validation while powerfully reinforcing your discerning, selective standards. This phrase activates the crucial psychological mechanism of curiosity and selectivity. A woman is deeply attracted to a man who is not easily impressed, and by communicating that she has genuinely surprised you, you confirm that your standards are elite and that your attention is a selective, earned prize. She is immediately motivated to continue providing the unexpected to secure this rare form of validation, viewing herself through your challenging and discerning eyes. The required energy behind this phrase is grounded confidence mixed with genuine, yet detached amusement. The calm reaction of a man whose high standards were pleasantly met, forcing her to strive to remain in your highly valued category. This phrase is designed for those moments when a woman attempts to test your confidence or impress you by listing her achievements, social connections, or resources, a common interaction where most men either defensively retreat or desperately try to match her effort. The sovereign man does neither. He fundamentally reframes the purpose of the interaction. The core statement is, "I appreciate the effort, but I'm here to connect, not to evaluate or be evaluated." The opening, "I appreciate the effort," is polite, but establishes a necessary emotional distance. It acknowledges her performance attempt without rewarding the underlying need for approval, establishing you as a neutral witness. The profound power, however, resides in the second part. "I'm here to connect, not to evaluate or be evaluated." This is the ultimate declaration of emotional sovereignty. You are stating with finality that you are fundamentally uninterested in the superficial game of performance, resume matching, and ego evaluation. You are only available for raw, genuine emotional interaction. This acts as an immediate and powerful filter, signaling that you are seeking connection based on truth and depth, not surface-level metrics. This strategy activates the psychological mechanism of anti-neediness, which is the single most critical factor in masculine attraction. By refusing to engage in the evaluation process, by stating that your relational purpose is higher, you prove that you are not dependent on her status, her approval, or her opinion of you. You are choosing the experience of her presence, not the result of her assessment, instantly flipping the dynamic. When a man refuses to enter the competition, he automatically elevates himself beyond the need to compete. She is compelled to drop the performative mask and interact authentically because her standard testing strategies have failed. This authenticity, combined with your composure and elevated purpose, creates the kind of profound bond that instantly moves beyond mere liking and accelerates into passionate desire. The tone must be steady, warm, and highly composed, the confident statement of a man who knows his intrinsic value and only accepts gold standard emotional interaction. As the interaction deepens and the connection moves into palpable territory, this phrase introduces the element of conscious emotional risk, the danger component vital to the law of polarity, while maintaining complete self-control. It is one of the most powerful tools for escalating desire through disciplined restraint. The phrase is, "There is a distinct tension between the woman I see now and the one I can imagine. I respect the distance." The first segment, "There is a distinct tension between the woman I see now and the one I can imagine," is highly provocative. You are explicitly naming the existing energy and tension, which most men are too timid to address, thereby validating her own unspoken feelings. Crucially, you introduce a powerful vision, the woman you can imagine. A higher, more potent, and more emotionally available version of herself that is associated only with you. This creates a psychological chasm between her current routine reality and the possibility you represent, which is a powerful emotional seduction. However, the true mastery and the forbidden aspect lies in the final clause. "I respect the distance." You have established a tension that could instantly ignite, and then you actively and consciously choose to pull back. This signals that you have the desire, risk, but also the emotional discipline and stability, safety, to master that desire, which is a profound and ancient signal of masculine leadership. This phrase activates the psychological mechanism of restraint and possibility. Female desire is often disproportionately fueled by the feeling of possibility that is not immediately acted upon. By naming the tension and then consciously respecting the boundary, you demonstrate immense self-control. She is left with the unacted-upon possibility echoing in her mind, triggering the psychological phenomenon known as the Zeigarnik effect, the memory's tendency to recall unfinished tasks more powerfully than completed ones. You have intentionally left the emotional loop incomplete, compelling her subconscious mind to become obsessed with finishing the connection. The delivery is crucial. Unwavering eye contact, a deliberate tempo, and a low, resonant tone that makes the implicit tension undeniable, followed by the composed, powerful act of restraint. This final phrase serves as the synthesis of all previous techniques, the masterstroke that encapsulates the entire philosophy of balanced masculine energy. The man who can deliver both safety and stimulation. It should be reserved for a moment of genuine emotional synchronicity or connection. The complete statement is, you create a profoundly rare sense of stillness and impulse in me simultaneously. This phrase is a sophisticated and highly personal emotional reflection. Stillness refers to the masculine sense of calm, groundedness, and stability that she provides, while impulse refers to the corresponding feminine reaction of desire, energy, and excitement that you feel in her presence. You are stating that her essence uniquely balances and enhances your own emotional state, making you feel both centered and excited, the ideal perfect blend of a passionate lover and a deeply grounding partner. This is a powerful, concise articulation of the exact duality that the feminine seeks. This phrase activates the ultimate psychological mechanism of irreplaceability. By explicitly articulating the complex, paradoxical feeling she evokes, you are communicating that she holds a unique, irreplaceable emotional fingerprint in your life. Most men can only categorize a woman as either safe, boring, or exciting, unstable. By stating she is both, and that this combination is profoundly rare, you establish her emotional value as being beyond measure, because she is fulfilling the two opposing, yet equally vital needs of the high-value masculine soul, the need for inner peace and the need for passionate, adventurous exploration. This creates a deep and unassailable mental bond, because the most profound emotion she has ever felt is generated in direct relation to you, making the relationship itself the indispensable source of the unique feeling. Each of these 5 phrases, the observer's privilege, the selective validation, the declaration of emotional sovereignty, the controlled tension, and the paradoxical bond, is merely a verbal anchor. The true, enduring power does not lie in the words themselves, but in the disciplined, high-value energy you must project. Non-neediness, demonstrating you are complete without her. Discernment, showing you are highly selective in your praise and attention. And controlled presence, proving you can introduce powerful emotional tension and yet masterfully control the pacing and distance. This path is not one of fleeting techniques, but of profound emotional maturity and self-mastery. Do not simply attempt to recite these sentences. You must embody the emotionally sovereign framework they represent, for the words are only effective when they are the honest expression of a man who is whole. The emotional shifts you will see are not mere flirtation. They are the fundamental psychological reordering of her desire for you, making you the singular source of both stability and excitement in her life. We urge every committed subscriber to integrate this knowledge, internalize this framework, and wield this disciplined power with the serious respect it demands.